Welcome back. Chad Range alongside Jesse Finney. We are the Hit Squad. The email, hitsquad@101sports.com. The Twitter handle, @HitSquad101ESPN. Now, we're talking Guns and Hoses, and this is obviously a great event. The main thing, like you said, Backstoppers is who all the proceeds go to. And talk about, just kind of how you guys got involved with Guns and Hoses, because it used to be a boxing thing. Now Shamrock Fighting Championships has paired up with Guns and Hoses, and MMA is now part of this.
Well, this is something that, I've known Steve Howley and Jack Martorell for many years, and Steve Howley has been the organizer up there with Jack, and we've been friends for a long time. So we've talked about it and kicked the tires with it, but more than anything, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, is for the Backstoppers. 100% of the proceeds go back to the fallen victims. It's an incredible event. It's not just about the boxing, it's more about an event, because this is something that's been going on for 27 years, where these guys have been organizing this and giving proceeds back to the police and firemen of the fallen victims. And I tell you something, you can't get a better event. This has been a tradition for many years and many years to come. And we've been chosen, luckily enough, by Steve Howley to actually start to partner with these guys, where we're going to start doing mixed martial arts inside of the boxing ring as well on that night. And I tell you something, it's going to be I get goosebumps talking about it. It's something that's going to be that my kids can talk about. Steve's kids have talked about. Steve started with Merle Taylor years ago, and I tell you something, it's an honor to be a part of.
It's going to be happening at Scott Trade, and I think we actually have Steve Howley on the line. Steve, you there?
I'm here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to have you on here. Talk about the event and how you kind of came up with it. And, did you think that you would have, the firefighters and the police really, get behind it and say, yeah, I'll get in there and, go toe-to-toe with somebody?
Well, after growing up in boxing my whole life and being a part of the community here in St. Louis and helping put the event on, and knowing Jesse, we talked about it and thought that it would be a great marriage to bring MMA into Guns and Hoses, because the MMA stuff has exploded over the past few years. We have many police officers and firefighters that compete in MMA. So we thought, hey, what a great opportunity to bring the two events together and show the community how the two sports can actually support the families of the Backstoppers with the greatest amateur boxing MMA event in the country. So like Jesse said, we've been friends for many, many years. He's the premier promoter of MMA. We're the premier promoter of Guns and Hoses. So it was just a natural fit to bring us together. We worked the details out, and the rest is going to be history, because November 27th, the first MMA event will be held at the Budweiser Guns and Hoses.
Well, Steve, let me ask you something. How much money have you guys raised over the years?
Well, we hit a milestone this past year. We have contributed $4 million to the Backstoppers. $4 million over 27 years. So it's growing. Unfortunately, their needs continue to grow. We've lost 6 firefighters and police officers since the last Guns and Hoses. So, it's a good news, bad news. The good news is we're raising money. The bad news is they have to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now talk about the athletes. You would expect that police and firefighters are in good shape. But do they, take this very serious, knowing that they're going to be getting in the cage and doing, MMA in front of a whole venue of people, like you said, on November 27th at the Scott Trade Center?
Absolutely. We have a very definitive process that all athletes have to follow. They have to start training right after Labor Day. We monitor their training. We have select gyms that they can participate in, and we've got all certified coaches, just like Jesse has, and they're going to follow that same process. They take this extremely real. This is not boxing in your backyard. Now, do they have the talent level of sophisticated amateur boxers or professional boxers or MMA fighters? No, but they have the passion, they have the spirit, and they do it because they want to give back to the cause. A lot of these guys do it because they either know somebody that was killed in the line of duty or they're very passionate. We've got a little saying that we share with the folks when we have our kickoff meeting. We say that Guns and Hoses is the best insurance policy that we hope you never have to use.
That was pretty cool.
That's goosebumps stuff right there. Yeah.
Well, Steve, I tell you what, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to contributing back a little bit, and I'm glad to be happy to be a part of this, and it's an exciting time for everybody. And Steve, tell me how you actually got involved from the very beginning with Merle Taylor.
Well, boxing started in my living room when I was a kid. My dad was the Golden Gloves franchise holder, and then Merle Taylor and Jack Martirelli got involved. So I evolved with it throughout my whole life. Back in the heyday, we used to have 100 amateur boxing shows in a season. Now that's cut down due to the fact of specialization in sports. But I've grown up with it all my life. I've been on the Missouri State Athletic Commission since 1984, hosted Olympic events here in St. Louis, and it's like you with kickboxing and MMA, Jesse. It just gets in your blood. You grow up with it. And the neatest thing about it is we've both got the opportunity to give back to the community. Where we know a lot of people, we ask a lot of people to help us out, and they come to us with open arms when they know what the cause is. So I've just grown up with it my whole life, and it's part of my DNA, and just trying to give back and share with some friends and have some good times.
Stephen, I got one last question for you here. And if you, on November 27th, if you had your way, how would the night go?
2 words for you, Jesse. Sold out.
Yep.
21,000 people at Scott Trade Center. Sold out. Those are my 2 words for November 27th.
I like it.
And how many people would that be?
21,000 is the magic number.
21 exactly.
21,000. We've had as many as almost 19,000. So we're looking for a couple of more thousand folks, and I believe by adding the MMA and creating the buzz with the folks that are inspired by MMA and inspired by the cause that you guys are going to support, that we can get to 21,000.
Well, I tell you this, if you've had 19,000 in the past, I can say that I think that we can get to 21,000, because to add an extra 2,000 people with adding mixed martial arts, I can see the MMA community getting behind it. 100% of the proceeds go back to the Backstoppers. And if there's any way that we can help as a company and as friends, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're just glad that you guys are on board. Again, you and I have been friends for many, many years. We've talked about it, and I'm glad that we made it happen. And it's just going to be a wonderful time for St. Louis. The final note that I'll leave you guys with is the holidays start when the first bell rings at Guns N' Hoses.
I love it. Now, real quick, Steve, you are the organizer of Guns N' Hoses. I just got to get this out there for all the people listening. Are tickets on sale yet? And if not, do you know when they will be going on sale and how to get them, more importantly?
Tickets will go on sale right after Labor Day.
Okay.
You can go to Scott Trade. There will be posters out. People can call me. We can go to the Guns N' Hoses Facebook page. They can go to the Guns N' Hoses website. And the great thing about it is we are a $10 date.
Oh.
You can come for $10 and watch police officers and firefighters try and kick the snot out of each other, either with gloves or wrestling around on the floor.
I love it.
Guys, I mean, here's the thing. I've been going to this for so many years, and I got to tell you, it's not just about the fights that are going on in the ring.
No.
I mean, this is something that I'm excited to be a part of, because we always say with Shamrock is, yes, the fights are important, but it's about the experience. And if you've never been to an experience with mixed martial arts and then in being with the Guns N' Hoses, let me tell you something. This is something that I can guarantee you can bring your kids, you can bring your wife, you can go make it a date night. It's an awesome experience. And it's not just about, like I said, the fights. It's nothing about, man, just go and enjoy it. Trust me, if you go once, you're going to be going for many years to come.
Well, guys, I'll tell you, we do a lot to promote the family atmosphere for the event. Unfortunately, we put the portraits of the fallen officers in the ring. We used to have years where we had no portraits. That's a very touching, emotional scene to see those portraits of those boxers or those firefighters and police officers in the ring. We've got Jackie Smith that sings Danny Boy. We've got police officers and firefighters that sing the national anthem. We have an Olympic-type ceremony for the boxers, and now this year the MMA athletes, to give them a commemorative coin. So it's much more than boxing. We've got live music. We've got obviously all the bells and whistles that you need for a boxing and an MMA show. But more importantly, we create that atmosphere that says, hey, I'm part of this. And the neat thing about it is everybody that shows up, they're actually giving back to the community too, because all of the proceeds go back to the Backstoppers.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time today, Steve.
Hey, thanks, guys. Anytime. Look forward to working with my good friend Jesse, and good luck to you guys. And Jesse, I will see you at your next show.
Sounds good. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Unbelievable. I mean,
I tell you something, man. I mean, you talk about tradition. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No,
there, but
that's-
man, I mean, it's a something that my kids, my son's 4.5 months old, that I'm looking forward to having him involved with in the next 30 years, where he could say this is going on. And I tell you about a tradition, and St. Louis is definitely about their tradition, definitely about the tradition of boxing, but also about just in general, just giving back to the community. And I tell you something, man, this is awesome.
that pulls on your heartstrings for sure. That event, again, $10 a ticket. Scottrade, November 27th. We're going to be taking a look at the local MMA scene coming up next on 101sports.com.